So today's session is on bullying. I'm going to talk about advanced techniques. As the title suggests, it's like how to communicate to a bully. So last time I think we spoke a little bit about how to tackle it, like what to do when if you're feeling bullied and so on. Today is going to be a little more advanced. It's going to be like how to communicate back to a bully, right? That's like the summary, not the summary, you can say the one line takeaway of this session. Okay. The summary of last session. So I'm summarizing. So bullying is like a game where it's like a two-player game where one person starts the game without the other person's consent. Okay. So it's like a game like this. It's, you can say it's like, I said arm wrestling. I guess tennis is better because tennis has an instigator, right? There's a person who's serving and then there's a person who's receiving, right? So it's something like, it's like a racket sport like tennis or badminton where there's one person serving and one person receiving. The person receiving, unfortunately, is not really, doesn't really want to play the game. They're the ones who are getting bullied. They don't want to play, but unfortunately, they've been pulled into the game by the person serving. Now, the person receiving, right, who's getting bullied, loses if they get upset. Forget about what they say, forget about what they don't say. Forget if they, I mean, hitting back is different, but the only way to lose in this game of bullying is to get upset. The one thing you should not do, but the core takeaway from last class was don't get upset, stay calm, don't get upset. I did not say be nice. Be nice is not what I said. Say thank you, you are right is not what I said. That's not what I said. I only said don't get upset and stay calm. Okay, that's the core. Right now, like many of you already felt, right, it's very easy to kind of misunderstand this a little. I'll come to the more details, right, the more specific details about what I mean by hey, don't get upset, but also I'm also saying not be nice. Like what does this mean? I'll come to that. I'm going to come to that. Before we go to the techniques, there were two techniques I told you because when I said stay up, don't get upset, one of you or many of you are like, sir, I know, sir. I mean, it's easy to say don't get upset. How it's easy to say stay calm. Have you ever been bullied? It's not. By the way, I've been bullied a lot. Okay, see, I have a bald head. I'm short, so I have a lot of issues when I was in school. Of course, I wasn't bald in school, but yeah, I was still bullied in school as well. When you guys tell me, sir, how do I stay calm? How do I not get upset? I suggested two techniques, two specific techniques to do it. Yeah, the two techniques I recommended was role play with a friend, or role play with a friend or a family. That's what I meant by practice. It's basically role play. Have your friend or family member or sibling act out the being the bully, and you are the one receiving the bullying, right? So that you can practice with them and stay calm. So, for example, you can have your mother or your sister or your brother come to you and say, whatever your bully says. I don't know what your bully says. My bully, for example, says I'm bald. So I can ask my mother to come and tell me, hey, act like the bully, okay? Come and tell me that I'm bald, tell me that I'm ugly, tell me that I look bad because I'm bald or whatever. And then my mom says that, and I was like, cool, I'll be calm. No matter what, I'm not gonna react. Right? So I practice that over and over again. That's the first technique we spoke about. The second technique was meditation. Why meditation? Because it helps you keep calm. Right? So when a bully is coming to me and saying, hey, you're bald or you're dumb, it's very hard. It's obviously hurtful and it's easy and it's very impulsive to get upset. But meditation helps you control that impulse and keep calm even in the most emotional scenarios, right? So I recommended you download this app called Calm, 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 and practice meditation. Right? Do at least some 10 minutes a week. That's also fine. It's easy, right? 10 minutes a week. Just turn it on, listen to it, you will get it. So like I was saying, the second technique that I recommended to stay calm and not get upset was use this app called Calm. I mean, as the name recommends, as the name suggests, it helps you stay calm. So practice meditation. Trust me, it's life changing. It changed my life ever since I started practicing meditation. So I would highly recommend. All right, cool. So this was for all those who missed last class. This was the three key takeaways. Okay, one, don't get upset. Two, practice not getting upset with your friend and family. Three, use meditation to again stay calm. Okay, these were the three takeaways from last class. Now today I'm going to talk about fine. Staying calm is the first level. How do I talk? What do I say? Should I just like when someone comes to me and says, "Hey, idiot, you look stupid or you're fat or whatever," should I just like stay calm and be like a meditator? Just not say anything. Just be calm, meditate in front of him. That'll be really weird, right? And some of you are probably thinking, "Sir, what do I say exactly?" Yeah, should I just be calm and meditate in front of him? That'll be like weird, right? Well, no, not exactly. There are certain specific techniques, right, that I'm going to talk about today that will help you communicate in a respectful and empathetic manner to a bully. Okay. To talk about this, first thing we need to speak about is empathy. Okay, the first technique, actually, I'm going to talk about 3 techniques. The first technique I'm going to talk about is empathy. It's not really a communication technique, but it's important. Empathy is, I've already spoken about this before, it's the process of putting yourself in the other person's shoes, really understanding that person deeply, going through what they're probably feeling and so on. Right. So for that, to empathize with your bully, you first need to understand why your bully is bullying you in the first place. Right? For that, remember last class I spoke about 3 reasons why people bully. The first and probably the most the most common reason why people bully is the need to be popular. They need to be funny. Actually, they need to be more funny and seen as humorous. When you're in a group, okay, let's say 4 or 5 people with some friends, and a bully is bullying you, they're making fun of you, especially they're making a joke about you, or they're making you feel, they're telling you something, they're making a joke that's making you feel bad. Right? So I've been in the situation where the bully is like, I'm in a group, and then bully again like make some stupid joke about me, like, hey, you wear spectacles, you can't see properly, or some shit like that. That's a joke. Why is he doing that? Because he wants to sound funny, and he wants others to feel like he's funny. But the problem there is, because I'm the butt of the joke, I feel bad. And the person who's being bullied feel bad because I'm the person. Right? That's the problem. No, but this is probably the most common reason. People are stupid. Like, they don't realize. So the reason the other person is doing it is he probably doesn't realize that it's actually hurting the other person. He's so engrossed in this need to feel popular, sound popular, look funny, that he doesn't really realize. Most often that's the reason, that he doesn't realize that he's hurting the other person. Right. So the first one is the need to be popular. Second one is close to what some of you said. You said jealousy, but I would say it's just some form of anger. It's like, some of you said revenge. It could be that. It's like, hey, that person is angry. They're actually a close friend who's angry at you for something stupid that you did. Maybe I have a friend, and I was playing with him. I was playing some video game with him, and I broke his controller. I play some, PS5 with him, and I broke his controller. And he's going to be angry with me. And because he's angry with me, he's going to bully me when he gets the chance. Right? So he's just angry with me. That's the second most common reason. And the third one, and this is probably more sinister, or I don't know, very deep. It's the need to control. It's the innate need that humans have to feel a sense of control. Like, some of you, I think the example I gave last class was, some of you like playing with remote control cars or remote control helicopters because you like to move it around. You like that sense of control. We enjoy that sense of control, right? So a bully bullies you, or if a bully bullies me, he wants to do it because he feels like he can control how I'm feeling. He can make me feel upset whenever he wants. He's able to, like, it's almost like a remote. I can say this and then he's going to feel upset. That he likes that sense of control. So that's the third reason. Okay. So one is, what did I say? First one was be popular, be funny. Second is anger. Third is sense of control. They like this sense of control. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is this gives you an understanding of why your bully is doing what he or she is doing. Right? And that's the first step, which is empathy. So you have to learn to empathize with this person. And how do you empathize with this person is by asking another way. So first is putting yourself in their own shoes. And then second is asking, like, leading questions about why they're feeling this way. It's like, say, if I'll give you an example. A bully comes to me and says something like, hey, you are, I don't know, someone give me by the way, I'm going to do some role play today where I want one of you to bully me. Okay, let's go one by one. Hey, who wants to bully me? Who's the expert bullier over here? Who's the expert bully who's bullied a lot of people? Anyone? So I'm going to give it to, okay, Atar, do you want to bully me?
Sir, I am professional in that.
You're professional. Oh, show me your professional skills. Ready? 3, 2, 1, action. Go. Say it again. Go.
You are so trash.
Interesting. I wonder why you'd say that. Why do you say that, Atu?
Because nobody cares about you.
Okay, but why do you feel that way?
Because you are just bad.
Okay, good. I'll stop. Okay, I'll come back to you. Okay. So, yeah, thanks, Atar, for bullying me. But yeah, what I was trying to show you is the first thing you probably need to do, of course, you don't have to say anything, is pause and think why that person is saying these things. Okay, which of these 3 reasons is he using to say this? Right? It's possible that Atar was saying that to me because he wanted to feel fun, he wanted to sound funny, or it's possible Atar was saying that to me because he's angry with me, or Atar was saying that to me, of course, in the role play. Atar was a nice guy, by the way. Okay, or Atar was trying to say that to me to feel a sense of control. Right? Could be one of these 3 things. So I want you to pause at the time and think about why your bully is saying these things. It's one of these reasons. All right. So that's like the first technique. It comes under empathy, but it's not. I don't want you to say anything. I just want you to pause and think about why they are saying these things, right? The second technique is going to is probably the more important one, and some of you already probably heard of it. We talk about it in our holistic classes a lot. It's also very very counterintuitive. It's called disarming. So one bully, okay, is coming to me and telling me something like, "Hey, you're bald. You have no hair. You look bad. You look ugly because you're bald." Okay, that's what the bully says to me. I'm going to retort by saying, based on your answer, I'm going to say something like, "Hey, yeah, you're right. I have no hair. Great observation." Okay. How many of you think that's a best way to say it? Yeah, yeah, great observation. You're right. 80%. 80% of you believe that's the best way to retort. Now, the answer is a resounding no. All of you are wrong. 80% of you are just wrong. It's not right. How does it feel to go wrong? I'm not bullying you, okay? I'm just saying what's the truth. So if you're going to say something like, yeah, yeah, of course, of course, great observation, that means you're obviously getting upset. Look at your face. It's very clear you're upset and you're angry and you're saying that because you're upset. The first rule of bullying is not to get upset. The moment you, because it's the most common retort, the moment you retort by saying, of course, you're right, great observation, super observation skills you have, you're trying to get back at that person because you're upset. You're trying to sound funny in return. You're trying to make fun of the other person in return. That's like the first rule you're breaking, which is not to get upset, not to affect you. So the tone and the way you use it, if you use sarcasm in return, it's not going to work. If someone is being sarcastic towards you and you're going to be sarcastic in return, it's not going to work. It'll only make it worse. Okay, fine. You're like, okay, sir, cool. What do I say? What do I say in this? What's the first thing I should probably say if someone says this? Well, my answer is to use a sentence starter. Well, I guess there is some truth to what you're saying. Okay. I want you to note this down. The first statement you're going to start with is, I guess there's some truth in that. Okay. Without any kind of sarcasm, without any kind of anger or any kind of upsetness, you're going to say, hey, I guess there's some kind of truth in that. So let's say a guy comes to me and says, hey, you're bald and you don't look great. And I'm going to say, you know what? I think you're right. I guess there's some truth in that. I don't have hair. Yeah, you're right. And I guess, yeah, if I don't groom myself well, I guess I don't look good. Right? What am I doing here? This technique is called disarming, where I'm trying to find that single source, that single truth, piece of truth that's possibly right in what they're saying, and then bring it out. This versus what you guys told me, which was, hey, great observation, nice, good job, you have great eyesight. Do you see the difference between these two statements? The first one is, I'm not upset, I'm just calm, and I'm just trying to find that single grain of truth in what they're saying. Let's get this even more interesting. Who else wants to bully me? Anyone else who wants to bully me? Rayansh. Hey, Rayansh.
Sir, should I start the bully?
Oh, okay. Looks like you're excited. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, and action.
Yeah. Sir, you look bad. You look bald.
Cool. I'm responding. My wrong response would be something like, "Oh, great observation. Well looked at. You have amazing eyesight. Oh, super, super." It's like, what a great joke. Amazing joke. Ah, ha, 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 ha. These are probably the wrong reactions that don't work. The right reaction will probably be to start with a sentence starter. Well, I guess there's some truth in that. Yeah, you're right. You are right. I am bald, right? I know. True. And I guess that maybe when I wear spectacles, I don't look great, or when I if I don't wear a nice shirt along with my bald, it doesn't go well. Right? So that's the second disarming reaction. The reaction where so a good sentence starter for disarming, like I said, is a I guess there is some truth in that. Okay, there is some truth in that. What you're saying, right? So understand, and okay, now I'll try another wrong answer. Okay, when someone say someone comes to me and says something like, "You're bald, you look ugly." A wrong answer will be to say, "Hey, I guess there's some truth in that. Hey, I'm totally ugly. I'm totally bad. I'm totally wrong. I look really, really bad." That's a wrong answer because there is no truth in that. You're just agreeing to whatever they're saying. There should be some truth in that, right? So what is the truth I'm finding? Oh, okay, cool. I guess that when I know obviously I am bald, and I guess that some people might not like bald people, or I guess that when I don't dress well, I look bad. You know, there are some truth that you also agree with, right? So it has to be a truth that you also agree with. It can't be something like, yes, yes, you're right. I'm completely ugly. You're perfectly right. Ah, ha, ha. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not saying agree to everything they're saying. And just whatever. If someone says, hey, you're dumb, you're stupid, don't agree to it completely. Say, hey, you're perfectly right. Congratulations. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm only saying find that piece of truth. There's some piece of truth in what they're saying. Did we get that? Find the truth. So the first one is called the disarming technique. Okay. I'll maybe take another example. Someone comes to me and says, hey, you are fat. You look really bad. A wrong answer will be to say, you're perfectly right. I'm fat. I look bad. That's a wrong answer. That's not what I'm saying. The right answer would be to say something like, You know what? I guess you're right. I guess there's some. I have put on some weight recently. I guess I should lose some weight. Yeah, I guess that when I wear certain clothes, it doesn't. It does. It I do look bad. Do you see the difference between these two statements? The second statement is the disarming statement, where I am basically finding the grain of truth in what the other person is saying. All right, cool. Did we get this? So a bully wins only when they get you upset. A bully wins only when you respond by saying, "Hey, hey, get lost. I'm much better than you. Hey, I'm much smarter than you. Hey, this." That's when they actually win because that's what they want. They want to upset you. They want to change your frame, right? That's when they'll keep coming back at you. But if you stay calm and say something like, "You know what? I guess there is some truth in what you're saying," they will not come back to you because it's boring. They're not winning that game. That's the reason why they will not come back at you. It's boring for them. Anyways, I'm going to move on to the next technique. It's called drum roll. Someone give me the drum roll. I forgot the name. Stroking. Stroking. How could I forget? Stroking is the second technique. What is stroking? Stroking is the process of you can again. My friend here will say it's simping. It's basically the process of appreciating, finding genuine appreciation in what the other person is saying and what the other person is doing. Right? I'll give you an example. The best way I've seen that I can stroke is confidence. So especially when it comes to a bully. So if a bully comes and bullies me, right, saying, "Hey, you're so bald, you're so fat, you're so stupid, you're so weak," whatever, any of those things he tells me. Stroking would be saying something like, "Hey, you know what? I really appreciate how confident you are. How can you? I can never come and tell someone this. I can never bring myself to tell someone this. I really don't know how you get this confidence." Oh, this is stroking because I'm genuinely actually appreciative of his confidence. What is not stroking is saying something like, "Whoa, you're so beautiful, you're so amazing, you're so smart," in a genuine way. That's not stroking because one, you're probably being sarcastic, and two, it's not something you agree with. Stroking has to be a compliment that you absolutely agree with. Stroking, which is the uh, second technique, which sounds very close to simping again, is giving a genuine compliment, but a compliment that you actually agree with. You genuinely agree with, right? Another case might be, hey, I don't know, a person is like, there's a really big dude who's like, very tall, and he's like, he comes to me and says, "I'm short." Okay, I'm like some in general, I'm 5'5" or something, which is like, it's short for general standards. So a tall guy who's like 6'2" comes to me and says, who's also very built and who's also like, who builds a lot of muscles, comes to me and says, "Hey, you're so short, you're so weak," whatever. And I'll be like, stroking would be me telling that person, "Hey, I'm genuinely impressed by how much effort you would have put in order to build those muscles. Should have taken a lot of effort. I'm genuinely impressed." Oh, that is stroking, which is again a compliment, which is genuine. Sharia is like, "Sir, I'll do all this, but what if they continue to bully?" Well, Sharia is a good question. The answer is that they will not continue to bully because they'll be bored. See, they continue to bully because every time you get upset, they're winning and they like it, and because they're winning, they'll do it again and again. But if you don't get upset and you say these things, they won't win. They'll be bored. So therefore, they're not going to come back to you. Hrudvi says, "Why don't we just leave without responding anything?" Great question, Hrudvi. Thanks for asking. Um, so you can choose to do that. It's just that if you do it in a manner that where you're showing that you're upset, then they won. So if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, you're bald," I'm like, "Okay," and then walk away. I can see it in my face. Hey, I'm upset. I'm angry. I'm like, "Okay, cool," and I'm walking away. That still means that the bully is winning, right? The bully wins because he's succeeded in getting me upset, right? You can not get upset and walk away. That's also fine. If he says you're bald, I'm like, I say something like, "Okay, cool, interesting," and I just walk away. That's also fine, as long as you don't get upset. That's like the core. But great question. I like that. So it's not necessary that you absolutely have to use techniques like stroking and disarming, but it will help. Stroking and disarming is like more complicated and more advanced, but it'll definitely help. Someone bullies, can we roast them back? Great question. I really like these questions too. I would recommend against it. I know many of you, I used to do this all the time. Okay. I used to think that, hey, the best way to do it is to think of, so he's making a joke about me. I'm going to say something funny back that's going to roast them back. That's going to make them feel bad. It's okay as long as you don't get upset. So if someone says, "Hey, you're so bald, you look like Gandhi with spectacles," or some shit like that, some joke he makes, I know, some random spectacles. You look like a 30-year-old Gandhi. It's a joke, right? Now it depends. Oh, really? I'm Gandhi. I'm going to make a joke about you. No, you see in my face, right? I'm upset, and I try to make a joke back. That never works. That's like, again, I've lost. But on the other hand, if I'm cool, if I don't get done, like, "Hey, nice joke. Yeah, I guess I look like Gandhi," and then I say, "Hey, by the way, you also look like, I don't know, you look like Nehru," or some shit like that. or I don't know what joke it is. Hey, you look like I don't know 60-year-old Brock Lesnar. I don't know, I'm just randomly saying things. But if I make a joke in a frame where I'm not upset, that's fine. That's completely fine. But I would not really recommend it. I would still recommend things like disarming and stroking first. Can we complain to some older person? It's a great question. I really love the questions. You can complain, but the problem is you will never learn to solve the problem yourself. This will solve only if bullying will stop only if you respond in these manners so that so every time you complain, right, he or she is going to come back. It's not going to stop him because he or she has realized that you are upset and therefore you're complaining. He's again one. So complaining to your parent or a teacher will help. Yes, if you're not able to manage it all, yes, it's better. But this is again the first step. Not getting upset is probably the most important step, and it'll help you solve your own problems. Yeah? What if they abuse your parents? Interesting. Yeah, those are nasty things. So if they're being very nasty to parents and all this stuff, see again, of course, I'm not asking you to agree to them and all. Okay, but I'm just going to not get upset. I guess if you really can't find some grain of truth in what they're saying, just don't get upset. Like, they're saying something stupid in order to upset you. Just ignore it. Don't get upset. That's fine. Shaurya is like, so the main objective is to win against bullying without harming them. Absolutely, Shaurya. There is no point in, like, either harm both psychologically and physical does never helps. So if someone hits you, hitting you back, obviously, I mean, self-defense maybe, but don't hit. But yeah, like I said, and yeah, if there's any kind of physical, if someone hits you, please go complain. That's a separate problem. But just saying, it's the objective is, even if someone is trying to hurt you emotionally and you try to hurt them back emotionally, it's not going to work. So many of you were asking me, sir, I don't like this person at all. Like, they're bullying me. There's nothing right in them. How can I agree with some grain of truth that they're saying? That's possibly because you're really angry towards these people or whoever is doing it to you. I totally agree. I was very angry at my bully for a very long time. And it's very hard to empathize with them, and it's very hard to find some grain of truth. It's okay. Sometimes it's better just calm down, figure out. Even they might be the worst people. They, like you say, you really don't like them. They have very bad values. You don't like them. One way would be, like I said, just don't get upset and move away. That's fine. A better way, even though you don't agree with anything, might be to find some, hey, you're probably right in this way alone, and then say something, right? Still better than not saying it. I think I answered most questions. I just want to make sure I'm summarizing before we leave. There were three main techniques I spoke about. After yesterday, there were last class, there were three main techniques I spoke about. The first one was empathy. The second one was disarming. The third one was stroking. Yeah. Empathy, disarming, and stroking. Empathy is the act of putting yourself in the other person's shoes and trying to understand why exactly they're doing what they're doing. Disarming is the act of starting with a statement that says, I guess there is some truth in what you're saying. I guess there is some truth in what you're saying. And saying something that you genuinely believe is true and sharing, like some grain of truth. That's disarming. And the third is stroking, which is finding that one piece that you genuinely are appreciative of the other person. Finding some genuine appreciation in the other person and sharing that. It should not be a lie. It should be genuine. Right? That's stroking. So these three are the techniques we spoke about, like communication techniques on how to communicate bullying. By the way, these techniques work with anyone. Okay, it works with any kind of interaction that's not going well. Any kind of, if you're having an issue with another person, if you're having a disagreement, if you feel like someone is hurting your feelings, this works. It works there also, but it definitely works here also, right?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, if you have a doubt, you can ask me. Go ahead. Yeah.
So yes, sir. In my previous school, I used to get bullied by many people, and they used to hit me a lot. My previous school, as the teachers, they did respond to it. So in that case, I also try to hit them and defend myself. Is are continuously doing that?
Hitting is not allowed, no matter what. Hitting is
No.
bad. It's not allowed. You should raise it. If your teachers are not helping, you should talk to your parents. Hitting is something that you should not be okay with, no matter what.
Okay. I mean, like, what to tell? If they try to attack, we can try to block their attacks at all.
So you can, of course, you can self-defend, but don't be in that space. Move away from them. It's not a good place. Make sure whoever, like your teacher, your management, your parents, make sure that you don't get hit, right? It's always important to share that, so that hitting is never, you should not be okay with it, and you should not hit back. Both should not be.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Sir, I have a doubt. Sir, in the process of harming, if there is no truth in what they are bullying, then what should we say?
If you can't find any truth, don't say anything. That's okay. But generally, if you try hard, you'll find some truth. You'll find some grain of truth if you try hard. if you're not upset and you try really hard, you generally will find something.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. I again love this session. Yeah, let's see. It looks like a lot of you seem to like this topic a lot. Maybe I'll do more of it. I will see you again. It was so nice talking to you and seeing all of you. Bye, folks. Bye, guys.